Welcome! Today we're diving into Web3 and smart contracts, two buzzwords at the forefront of blockchain technology. If you're new to this space, don't worry, we'll break everything down in plain language. By the end, you'll understand what Web3 means, how smart contracts work, real-world examples, and how Web3 different from today's internet, often called Web2. Let's get started. So what exactly is Web3? Put simply, Web3 is often described as the next generation of the internet. It's an internet built on blockchain technology, where users have control over their own data rather than a few big companies. Think of today's Web 2, things like Facebook, Google, Twitter, as platforms that own your data and content. In Web 3, by contrast, data and applications run on decentralized networks of computers called blockchains, and communities of users collectively control them. This shift is often summarized as moving power from central gatekeepers to individual users. For example, in Web 3, you could own your social media profile or digital items directly, without relying on a single company. As one expert put it, Web3 is envisioned as a decentralized web ecosystem where people can retain ownership of their own data. It's a big change from today's web, where tech corporations store and monetize our information. Web3 also introduces the idea of a token economy. Because blockchains use digital tokens like cryptocurrencies or NFTs, users can earn tokens for their contributions. These tokens might represent a share of a project, voting rights, or rewards for certain actions. In other words, Web3 could let you earn and control value directly online, rather than just clicking and scrolling for free services on Web 2. So what exactly is Web 3? What's the difference from Web 2? To highlight the shift, let's compare Web 2 and Web 3 side by side. Control of data. In Web 2, a handful of tech giants control the servers and databases. They own your data, photos, posts, personal info, and decide the rules. In Web 3, the goal is for users to control their own information on the blockchain. Trust model Web 2 transactions, like sending money or sharing info, rely on trusting a platform or middleman. For example, when you send money through a bank or a payment app, you trust that institution to handle it correctly. In Web3, transactions happen only if preset conditions in a smart contract are met. No trust in other people or companies is needed. It's a trustless system where code enforces the rules. Intermediaries. Web2 often requires intermediaries, banks, social media platforms, marketplaces. Web3 aims to remove or minimize intermediaries. For instance, instead of a company selling you an ebook, a smart contract could automate that sale directly, reducing fees and delays. User ownership and incentives. Web3 envisions users owning tokens and digital assets they create or contribute to. These assets can even grant them a stake or voting power in platforms. In Web 2, if you make content, the platform usually takes the credit and profit. For example, imagine buying a concert ticket on the resale market. In Web 2, you might get scammed by a fake ticket seller. In a Web3 version, every ticket could be a unique token on the blockchain. Before you buy it, the network nodes verify it's real and not sold already. This verifiability prevents fraud and means you don't have to blindly trust the seller. Overall, Web3 is more open and user-driven. Data is public and immutable on a blockchain, and decisions can be made collectively, like through decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs instead of by a single company. Now let's talk about smart contracts, the building blocks of Web3. A smart contract is essentially a self-executing piece of code on a blockchain. It automatically enforces rules when certain conditions are met. You can think of it as a digital agreement that runs itself. Here's a simple analogy, a vending machine. When you insert $1 and press the button, the machine knows, by design, to dispense a soda. You don't need a shopkeeper to manually give you a drink. Similarly, a smart contract contains if-then rules in code. If party A sends one token, the if then automatically send party B an asset or perform an action. The then. The blockchain makes sure these conditions are checked and the outcome is carried out. For example, imagine Alice rents a bike from Bob using a smart contract. They agree that Alice will pay 5 tokens per day of rental. The smart contract might automatically transfer 5 tokens from Alice's account to Bob's account each day, as long as Alice keeps the bike. If either side fails to meet terms, the code can handle refunds or penalties, all without needing a lawyer or middleman. Because the contract lives on the blockchain, its code can't be changed secretly and everyone can see the rules. This builds transparency and trust. Smart contracts were first described in the 1990s by computer scientist Nick Szabo and became practical with blockchains, like Ethereum. According to Kaleido, smart contracts are digital programs stored on blockchain networks that automatically execute when predetermined conditions are met. This means they can automate everything from payments to record keeping, exactly when and how they were programmed to. So how smart contracts work briefly. Stored on blockchain, like cryptocurrency transactions. Smart contract code is stored on the blockchain. Triggered automatically. When someone meets the contract's condition, for example, sending a payment, the contract runs its code without delay. No third parties. There's no need for banks, lawyers, or escrow agents. The blockchain network enforces the contract. Immutable rules. Once deployed, the contract's terms can't be changed, unless it's programmed to allow updates. This immutability prevents fraud. Smart contracts are a core technology of Web3. They make sure that decentralized applications, dApps, and services work reliably and transparently. Let's make it concrete with some practical examples of smart contracts in action. DeFi, decentralized finance. DeFi is one of the hottest areas of Web3. Here, smart contracts replace banks and brokers. For instance, you can lend or borrow money without a bank. A smart contract can automatically give you interest on your loan or handle repayment. Decentralized exchanges, DEX, let users trade cryptocurrencies or tokens directly with each other. Under the hood, smart contracts hold the funds in escrow and swap them instantly when both sides match orders. Examples include platforms like Uniswap, a DEX, or Aave, a lending protocol. In fact, smart contracts have enabled things like yield farming and automated liquidity pools in DeFi. NFTs, non-fungible tokens. NFTs are unique digital items on a blockchain. Artists and creators use smart contracts to mint and sell NFTs, like digital art, music, or collectibles. For example, an artist might turn a drawing into an NFT and sell it on a marketplace. A smart contract not only transfers the token to the buyer, but can be programmed to automatically pay royalties back to the artist every time that NFT is resold. This ensures creators keep earning from their work without manual intervention. So if an NFT gets very popular and increases in value, the original creator still benefits through the smart contract's coded rules. Supply chain tracking with smart contracts. Smart contracts can improve how products move in a supply chain. Example, a refrigerated food shipment linked to sensors. If temperature goes too high, contract triggers alerts or penalties. Each stage, shipping, storage, delivery, is recorded on blockchain. This makes goods traceable and transparent for everyone. Even luxury products like wine use blockchain to fight counterfeits. In short, supply chains become more autonomous and trustworthy. Remember, a smart contract is like a vending machine or digital robot lawyer. You set up the terms, if X happens, do Y, and the blockchain ensures it happens exactly that way. No arguments, no delays, just code enforcing the deal. Web3 is the next generation internet built on blockchain, aiming to give users control over their own data and digital assets. It introduces a token-based economy where users can earn and own value online. Web3 differs from Web2 in decentralization instead of centralized, servers and gatekeepers. Web3 uses many distributed nodes. This changes how trust works. No need to trust strangers or intermediaries, and shifts control to the community. Smart contracts are self-executing programs on the blockchain. They automatically carry out agreements when conditions are met. Think of them as digital vending machines or automated escrow agents that need no middleman. Benefits: trustlessness, the code enforces rules; transparency, everyone can see the blockchain; and efficiency, fast automated operations. If you're curious to explore more, there are many beginner-friendly platforms and communities where you can learn by doing. Web3 and smart contracts can seem complex at first, but with time they're becoming more accessible and widely used. That wraps up our overview of Web3 and smart contracts. I hope this gave you a clear understanding of these concepts. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more blockchain explainer content. Let us know in the comments what Web3 topics you want to see next. Thanks for watching and see you next time.